Yeah, it's your boy Polo the Swag King, and welcome to another episode of Polo's POV. If you thought about it, we probably go talk about it. Life, love, and all the above. And now that you know what type of party it is, let me stop all the shucking and jiving and come on with the come on. Man, I'm gonna jump right on into this thing. I want to give a quick shout out. Dr. Martin Luther King would have been 93 years old this year. Steve Harvey turned 65. Michelle Obama 58. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I want to talk about this Martin Luther King thing. Of course, MLK Day was just this past Monday. School was out. Banks was closed. But I don't know. My employee said, man, fuck all that. We going to need your ass at work. So I still had to work. And me personally, why I'm on that tip right there, this Polo's POV, this is just how I feel about it. If the kid is out of school, I feel like I should have the option to be off work. Because some parents don't have daycare or stuff like that they can lean on. So, I mean, it's just how I feel about it. I don't know. I'm very interested in y'all opinion about that. But back on this Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. thing, I mean, I don't know how much you know about the case or the story. Me personally, I found out a bunch of things about it in the last couple of days. And if y'all don't mind, I want to share a little bit of it. Some of this stuff you might know, some of it you might not. But I found it pretty interesting. So here on Polo's POV, I decided I want to talk about it. In school, I was taught James Earl Ray. He was the lone shooter, the Lorena Motel. Assassinated Dr. Martin Luther King because he was a crazy white man, criminal, that just hated black folks just that much. You know, that was what I was told in school. But I don't know, I do know because I did a little research and got a few stories, and man, believe it or not, that wasn't the case at all. I mean, you can fact check anything I'm about to tell y'all, all that. If you think I'm lying, hey, have your way, go right ahead. But the first thing that I discovered, they saying the gun that actually killed Dr. King wasn't the same gun that James Earl Ray had, and then I didn't know this. It was he was talking with certain people. They was actually trying to convince him to run for president. Oh, here we go now. Influential black man, president. What was that, like 1960s, somewhere up in there? If I'm wrong on those dates, forgive me. But I mean, we talking back in the day. I mean, it's hard for certain black men now. I mean, so I can only imagine what it was going on back then. I believe it all got started. You had a guy, he was over there, I think it was the Vietnam War or whatever. He seen war crimes being committed by the Americans, by us, the U.S. And, we're supposed to be the righteous country of the world and whoop-de-woo, blase-blase. But this guy seen war crimes and stuff that we weren't supposed to be doing over there, and he came back. And, I don't know how they met or how that came about, but him and Dr. King actually was talking about it. He discussed it to Dr. King, in which this eventually was the basis behind the drum major speech, one of his famous speeches. Now, James Earl Ray, he supposed to be an escaped convict and all this, but from my understanding of the situation, his room didn't even line up, or he couldn't see a shot from where he was. He wouldn't have got a shot from where he was as opposed to where Dr. King was actually struck by a bullet. But now I found this interesting also. His security detail, which was all black security detail, that was his usual detail, but all of a sudden they got reassigned. And now he's got 4 white cops that met him at the airport the day before, but the day of the actual assassination, they was nowhere to be found. I'm just reporting the facts. Y'all make your own mind up. You could also, Bill Pepper, I believe, which was the attorney for the King family, he did release a book. I believe it was called Orders to Kill. That's something y'all might want to look up or go to Amazon and get, if you want to dig a little bit deeper in that. And also the owner of the Lorena Motel, she said she was approached by a man to change the room. The room was actually supposed to be on the ground floor. And she said she was approached by a man to say, hey, we need him in this room up around the balcony. And I don't know. It's a lot of things. And I found this interesting too. They have a trial. It wasn't a legal trial. I mean, like court for real, but And they say this stuff was on HBO. I don't know. I must have missed it. I must have been under a rock somewhere. I don't know. But they like did a simulation they pulled up the evidence against James Earl Ray. They had the jury, the judge, and all that, and he was found not guilty. But like I said, this was just a simulation. It wasn't a legal trial. But anyway, the same guy, Bill Pepper, the attorney, he get with the King family and he takes them to civil court. They with new evidence, they can say, hey, that shot couldn't have been fired from the room James Earl Ray was at or in. It had to be fired from ground level going up. And so, I mean, to me and to everybody else, anybody that's forensic science or whatever, of course, that's reasonable doubt, and the evidence is there. Well, anyway, in this civil court, that the attorney, I believe his name is Bill Pepper, and he gets with the King, and they do a civil court, and the civil court concludes that it was a conspiracy from local, state, and on a federal level. I'm gonna just say powers to be. I don't want to name no names. I don't know that whole story, but it was definitely collusion to get him assassinated. So that's the information on that. And to me, I've never heard this information. Definitely wasn't taught in school, but I'm just giving it to y'all because I've just recently uncovered it. But moving right along, keeping it moving. I have a grandpa. He dies. I believe this was out in California, maybe not California, but grandpa died saving his granddaughter. Apparently, the little girl was running after her dog. It's this frozen pond. That's why I said it might not have been in California. Frozen pond this time of year. I don't know. But the story still remains the same. Grandpa, he gets called because his granddaughter's like, hey, my sister done fell in the pond. And so Grandpa goes out there trying to save her. He falls into the ice. Paramedics get there, and they revive the little girl, but not Grandpa. So I don't know this guy's name right off the top of my head, but shouts out to him. And, I mean, if you just got to go, I mean, that's so honorable and commendable if you just got to go trying to save, or he did actually save a family member, his granddaughter at that. Meanwhile, in Florida, I believe, man, they sold a 1965 Mustang Shelby R, and it sold for, y'all ready for this? $4 million. I mean, if you just got $4 million to put on a car, and they just ain't going to be driving the Walmart in this car. None of that. They don't pay $4 million. It's probably going in the garage somewhere. They go just show it off when their friends come over. They might drive it down the street and back every once in a while. But I mean, it must be nice. It must be nice. I mean, $4 million. Ooh, I wonder how much taxes a person that can spend $4 million on a car paying. I can think I can just get a little bit of that. I mean, with just a little something. I mean, if you got $4 million to put on a car, man, I mean, help a brother out. That's all I'm saying. Do a little something for your boy. And also, the U.S. Olympic team has been advised to leave their cell phones when they go to China, and I believe that's the February 4th, maybe. It's early February, let's just say that. And they recommend that they use burner phones because they scared China gonna be spying on them and this and that. And then here's the thing, like our diplomats, we're not sending any leaders over there because we're supposed to be boycotting China because of the way they handle some of its humanitarian issues and people. But now, this story kind of crazy for the simple fact, like, okay, we ain't going over there, like the big wigs, but y'all can go over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if some Americans ain't going, maybe all Americans don't need to go. You know what I'm saying? That's just Polo's POV. That's what I do on this show. That's just how I look at things. Because to me, it's kind of, I'm just say stupid. I mean, okay, we don't really want to go, but y'all go ahead. We got a problem with what they doing over there, but y'all don't worry about that. Y'all go ahead, And then like a burner phone, I mean, what you trying to say? Our athletes, drug dealers or something? Like, what they got to have burner phones? This is your recommendation? And I feel like if you got to go through all that, you worried about them hacking or spying on us, then, I mean, why go over there in the first place? You see what I'm saying? And I'm not sure what kind of athletes we have going to the Olympics, but, I mean, what's supposed to be on their phone that's going to be so detrimental to the U.S.? I mean, they cutting flips too hard or throwing the disc too far. I mean, what kind of information you think we gonna give up from our Olympic athletes? I don't know. That's a weird story in itself. Speaking of weird, Man, hold on. Y'all got to hear this one. I'm talking about, this is in Washington County, Arkansas. They say 4 inmates, they was in jail. Inmates, there's people in jail, for those that not on the vocab. They was given an experimental COVID medicine, and they was told it was vitamins. And now this particular medicine, the name is too smart for me to, or it's too long for me to spell out or vocalize. But they saying it was really deemed illegal and not really for the treatment of COVID. But either way, they decided to give these people this medicine. And then, this was like early last year or something like that, like way before the COVID got as big as, as we all know it is now. But my problem is they was telling these people it's vitamins. Like, that is just so, excuse my friend, that's just so fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You just giving people something, you don't know if it's going to work or not. Basically, you using these people for guinea pigs, basically. And I don't think it's a shortage on guinea pigs, so I don't see why you need to use humans for guinea pigs. I don't know if it had something to do with the fact that they inmates, you feel like they criminals, they don't, deserve to, but they still people, criminal or not. A lot of people, probably all of us criminal, we just didn't get caught. You know what I'm saying? Just be real about it, But that don't mean you just give people something, lie to them about it. And who knows? They could have grown another arm or, I don't know, a finger out their forehead. You don't know. It's called experimental drugs. You know what I'm saying? So experiment it before you experiment with people. That's just Polo's POV on that. But keeping it moving. Now, I don't really like to get too political on this show. I just state what I've found, and I just let you make your own opinion about it. But they say the New York Attorney General, they want Trump. They want Trump Jr. What is it? Ivanka, one of them, his daughter. You know who I'm talking about. They want them to testify, and they want them to explain the funds coming through the Trump organization. Now, let the Attorney General tell it. They done cooked the books and gave fake documents to financial institutions for gain. Basically, they just saying, okay, we only made like $3 million, when actually they probably made 10, 15 million. And then they turn it in to try to get over on institutions to loan them money, give them money, donate money, however that goes. But me personally, this is no surprise to me. Trump been dirty if you just follow the paper trail or if you do the research. So this is really no surprise to me. Now, the outcome of it, that will be, because I'm just be real, the way I feel like Trump operates, he's just gonna throw his kids under the bus if worst come to worst. He like, man, I don't know what the hell they were doing. That shit didn't have nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really, that's gonna be a back and forth battle. I can see that going on for a while. Keeping it in New York, this is a crazy and sad story. They say a homeless man pushed the lady off the platform of the train, killing her. Now, she was a businesswoman, and she actually helped the homeless in her spare time, like charity work. So this is just the craziest thing ever. And then I don't know what you got going as a homeless man. You ain't got nothing else to think about. Your next meal, where you go sleep at. I don't know what happened, what transpired, what was said, but to me, I think a homeless man needs something better on his mind than pushing a lady that helps the homeless off a platform. To me, this story just makes no sense. And they saying the crime in New York is getting outrageous, and this story definitely don't help the cause. But it's just sad in itself. But our homeless people, you might not be able to listen to this or get a podcast, but people, you got to find something better to do than try to harm other people. And that ain't even homeless, a big mansion house on the lake. I don't care. Find something better to do than trying to harm people. Read a book. Listen to Polo's POV. You can do anything but trying to harm people, especially people that's trying to help your situation. And if you're cooking, and I know I like to cook, anybody tell you that, y'all hit that Polo_swag_king on Instagram. You can see some of the stuff I be whipping up in the kitchen. But the FDA say that raw flour and dough is really not the thing to do.